This will be a demo of the product management and framework template. We will go over each one of the sections and describe it and outline some of the key functionalities and considerations for the user. We'll begin with the page map on the left. This area will help you navigate the template. Each one of these links will guide you to every one of the sections and will make it easier for you to add new sections or see where you're at in terms of the overall page. Next, we'll go over project summary. This is probably the most important section. That's why it is here at the top. These are the 4 key questions that your team must find answers to when thinking about starting a new product project. The first thing we want to answer is the problem. What problem are we trying to solve and what value does it create for the customer? We give a little example here below. The business objective, that you want to focus on outcomes and not output. You want to deliver solutions and not features. And it is the management team to provide the product team with the necessary business context that they can use to then think about the problem in the right way so we can deliver the right solution for the business. Below we have key success metrics, which is how will success be measured? Is it onboarding time that needs to be cut in half, or do we need a 10% increase in the sign-up rate? Net promoter score lift? This is how the team will be held accountable for the solutions that they deliver, meaning that they won't be off the hook for delivering a feature that doesn't solve the right business problem. Success needs to be measured. And then we have a target market. What type of customer are we focused on? And we give some examples here below. As you notice, each one of the sections has a little description that tell you why this section is in place and why you should care about it or why it is important, and they'll help you frame the problem in the right way. Next, we have the team. I began here by giving you the 5 most common teams that you might find in your regular enterprise or your regular company, but you can add more teams as you need to or delete the ones that you don't need. If we look at one here, let's look at the product team. You have the team avatar. At the top here, you have members, the main contact email, the phone number, a list of the members of the team. As we said, the avatar that shows here in the gallery view. And below, we have the high-level targets for this team. And we'll go into targets a little later. But any of the targets that are assigned to the team will show up in this view, given by their status. So if they're in progress, done, or won't do, or they are in backlog. Same with tasks. Any to-dos that are assigned to the team will show up here, and we can toggle by status. And below the team nodes, any nodes that the team creates and assigns will show up here. And this is a great way to keep track of what every team is doing and all of the resources that every team is responsible for, and all of the problems that the team are responsible for. Moving on, we'll have key areas. So key areas are all about ownership, and these describe the key competencies and key considerations that every team is responsible for as they set on their journey of discovery on finding a solution. For product, they have 4 key areas that they must know deeply: knowledge of the customer, knowledge of the market, knowledge of the business, and knowledge of the data. So if we look at some of these, I give a brief description for what are some of the things that you need to think about. And as you see here below, there's an area where you can add notes. Any notes that you want to add regarding a discovery, a finding, an interview, a conversation you have with somebody, you can do it in here. And every note, as you can see, has a created by, a created date, the team. You can say assign it to product, and an area. In this case, we're going to assign it to the knowledge of the market and industry. So we have one for engineering, one for design. And as you add more teams and you add more areas, they'll show up in this view. For engineering, you can see that they need to think about dependency considerations, legacy, new tech, algorithm performance, so on and so forth. For design, how will customers learn about the product? How will we onboard new customers? How we will motivate them to higher level commitment? What is the perceived responsiveness of the product? These are all the things that each one of these things need to think about when designing a solution for the product. Next, we have the key risks. So there are 4 classic key risks. They are pretty much found in the literature of product management. And these are business viability risks, usability risks, value risk, and feasibility risks. Business viability risks describe, does the solution work for our business? Again, once you enter this view, there's a description, something for you to think about, and then some notes that you can add. For usability risk, can the user figure out how to use it? For value risk, will the customer buy this or choose to use it? Sometimes they're just not as excited as you are about a solution, so that helps you think about that. And in feasibility risk, do you know how to build it? Do we have the skill? Do we have the time? Can we afford to build it? Will it scale to the levels that we need, and so on and so forth? So these are the 4 key risks that you must tackle upfront before you start any work. Otherwise, you end up with a solution that nobody might want to buy or know how to use. So an important section here. Below, we have leaps of faith and other assumptions. So every project starts with an untested assumption, and they're usually taken as a given that, a user wants this, or a user will do that, or, a customer will buy this. And so in here, we have an ability to add new assumptions and assigning to a team and give it a status, or is it untested? So maybe the marketing team here thinks that users are okay with a $5 increase. Well, we need to test that. What's under testing? We said most of our users access our app on Android, and this is what's brought up by the engineering team. So they're out there gathering data and testing. And something that's fully validated is that users will share their credentials for integration testing, and so on and so forth. So these are all assumptions that that help guide your early efforts, but you still need to test them, right? And so you can add assumptions here. And if we look at the view for one of them, right, it's just you can add the team, you can assign an area or a particular risk if they are related, and then you can add a couple of details here, and you can add notes. Now moving on to the notes, as we said, every area pretty much allows you to add notes, and the notes can be sorted out by team, as you see here. So we have engineering, the engineering team has notes, the product team has notes, and in here it's a great way to come in and see all of the notes that each of the teams have gathered, and you can sort them out, delete them, manage them any way you want from this view. Below, we have targets. So we have 2 views for the target. We have the targets calendar and the targets board. And if you are familiar with Jira, targets are kind of like stories, where they are like high-level goals that are comprised of smaller tasks. So they're like the parent of tasks. And that you can use targets to keep track of the most important components of a project, and then you can target them accordingly. So in this view, we have a calendar view, and you can sort by team, as you can see here, or see all the targets. And what this allows you to do is just to move things around as you need to. If you need to change the timelines, you can do it from here. You can add new targets. And if you were to switch, let's say, to this view and add a new target, that target will automatically be assigned to the product team. So it's a great way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. In the targets board, we have a similar mechanism where you can see each of the targets that have been assigned to the team, but you can also look at them by status. How many of them are in progress? How many of them in backlog, done, or won't do? And again, by clicking on the new here, you can just create new targets for each team as needed. Inside here, we see that we have, like you say, we have a status, who was created by, the team that is assigned to. Any tasks that are related to this target will show up here in the to-dos or the complete. And you can just, by clicking on complete, you just switches things over. And here, again, puts it back in the to-do. Below, there's a view of the tasks in the calendar view. And below there is a section to add notes to this particular target. So very useful way to keep track of things, of the more high level goals. Below we have the tasks timeline. So now we're talking about tasks, and tasks, like we said, are the children of targets. They could also be unrelated to a target. It could just be something that someone needs to complete, like, you know, go out and get lunch for the team or what have you. But typically they are the children of a target. So they are the smallest unit of work, usually completed by a single person or completed in a day. It's something small, something very granular that can be done in increments. So in this case, what you have here is, like, you can see that you have some tasks here in this timeline view. And this view is really useful because it allows you to create dependencies, which is why I have it here. So I can take this arrow here and connect it. And this is creating a dependency between these two tasks. And what this is saying that this task here is blocked by this one. This can only flow into here. So if we were to open, let's say, this task, you can see that now this is blocked by gather infra. We just created this dependency. And just, you know, since we are in the subject of tasks, you know, opening one up, we can see that, you know, we have a checkbox for marking it as complete. We can see all the assignees, the team that was assigned to, the goal that is the parent of this task, any of the timelines, when does it start and end. So we have this view as well, the priorities, and, you know, where it is blocked or not. And below here you can add any notes, any things that you might need on an empty page. Very useful. Below we have two more views for the task. The calendar view that you're already familiar with from the previous section. You can see just, you know, we can move this around and you can see the status, or you can look at it by different teams. Similarly, if we go to the task board, we can see each one of the tasks that are assigned to each one of the teams, like engineering or product, or by priority, which one are high, medium, or low. And then you can just add tasks here as you need to. And like we said before, if you were to add, let's say, under engineering, that task will automatically be tagged with the engineering team. And last, we have the team whiteboard section. So the whiteboards are important because they are the team shared brain. And in here, I have embedded in Excalibur board, I'm sorry. And if you go to Excalibur, which is a free application, you can upload your own board in here by copying and pasting this link. And it would look something like this. Of course, you know, you can do all kinds of things. You can doodle, you can do diagrams, entity relationship graphs. And Excalibur is pretty neat because it allows you to have collaboration between team members, so you can all come in here and doodle together and whiteboard together, and this will be saved as part of your product management template. So any sections that you don't need, you can just delete. And you can also add a different integration, like Lucid Charts, or if some of you use Jira, you can add Jira in here. Just one more thing to keep in mind is in here that when we talk about users, so let's go back to the teams. When we talk about users, some of you might have in this case, I added a couple of users here for the demo. You know, I can just add more as such, but some of you might already have a Notion team space. And so what you can do here is that if you have a Notion team space and your rest of the teammates are in Notion, you can use this, the main contacts instead, which you can see here. It'll show up, all the people in your team will show up here. And so you can use this instead and delete this one. So there's a couple of sections that where I have this, and I needed to account for both of us, people that don't have teammates in Notion, that maybe are just using this template on their own just to keep track of tasks and manage the product on their own, or those that are doing it as part of a team. So just a small caveat in that. So hopefully you'll find this template and the framework useful for thinking about how to run a product team, how to create successful products. And don't hesitate to shoot me any questions, any feedback. It'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you.